If hip openers feel impossible, no matter how much you stretch, you are not alone. Tight hips aren't just about your muscles, but they're actually about your emotions as well. Stay with me. It's known that our hip area is what stores emotions, trauma, and stress in the body. And this makes it hard for your body to relax and actually open up. So today I'll show you how you can release some of that tension, not only in your body, but in your mind as well. And I'm going to show you a simple transition that will help you open your hips without forcing it. So I used to say all the time, I stretch my hips every day and they're still not gaining flexibility. And that's because stretching your hips isn't just about gaining flexibility, but it's about releasing the tension. And for me, I was extremely high strung. I was definitely stressed at becoming a first-time parent and finding it extremely hard. And I had all these emotions building up in my body that I wasn't releasing. So it's no wonder hip openings to me felt nearly impossible. So let's talk first about the mind-body connection. So when we're stressed, we're overwhelmed, we're anxious, our body actually tenses up as like a defend mechanism. It wants to protect you, so it tightens up. You'll know this if you've ever been scared, or maybe you're on the top of a roller coaster and it's about to head down, you tense. And that is your body trying to actually protect itself. And our hips are one of the biggest areas that stores emotions, especially stress, frustration, and past experiences that have come up in our lives. So if we don't feel safe to relax, our body doesn't feel like it can open up. No matter how much yoga or stretching you're doing, if you are feeling any of these things, your body naturally is going to tighten and it's not going to release. So what is the solution to this? There's a few things that you can do. Obviously, therapy could definitely be one of them. But the thing that I use is to breathe through the resistance. Because if you push too hard, your body is going to fight back. So this is why in yoga classes, the yoga teacher will always say, breathe through it, or deep breaths, or slow inhale, slow exhale, because they're actually getting your body to relax while you're in the poses. So doing a little bit of breath work can really help with this, even if it is something as simple as the box breath in breathe in, hold it, breathe out, hold it. You can start this for 2 seconds and move up to 4 seconds, maybe 6 seconds. So you breathe in for 6, hold for 6, exhale for 6, and hold for 6, and just keep repeating this. This is a very simple breath work that you can do, but it's a great one for calming down the nervous system. The next thing that you can do to help is slow, intentional movements. When we're moving the body really quick, that gets the adrenaline going, that gets the muscles heated up, but we want to try to relax and release the tension here. So doing really slow movements can help with this. Basically, go and do a yoga class, all right? I have a lot on my channel that you can go and find, but these will really help to calm the nervous system. It gives you something to focus on so that your mind isn't wandering off and you're just completely focused on what you are doing in the moment. You're focusing on that breath, you're focusing on moving your body and releasing it. Especially nowadays when we're all go, go, go constantly. We've got to get the kids to school, we've got to work, we've got to clean the house, we've got to cook, we've got to look after the animals, you've got to keep relationships up, you've got to call your friends. Like, there's so much pressure put on everybody nowadays. Life shouldn't be like this, and our bodies are reacting to this stress. So we do need to make sure that we find time for these quiet little moments to actually calm the nervous system. And the third solution here is hip work. So as I said, your hips are what stores a lot of the emotions. So working on loosening this area can really help to release those emotions. If you literally picture it like it's your hips are really tight and it's holding that emotion, and as soon as you release the hips a little bit, that emotion gets to flow out. This is why sometimes you'll see in yoga classes, people get really emotional and maybe cry their eyes out. I've done it plenty of times, because this is what happens. Your body can release the emotions through the movement. So you'd want to start nice and gentle first with these hip openings and put all of this together, right? So you've got the breath work, you've got the yoga, and you've got the hip movement in there. You want to take it nice and slow and try to relax the nervous system as you do these. Okay, so I want to break down a really powerful transition that's going to help loosen up those hips and loosen up the emotions in the body. Now this is a low lunge to lizard to pigeon pose. Now, if this feels too tight, I will give you different variations, but just know, if it feels too tight, we need to work on the things before, right? We need to work on the breath work, we need to work on calming that nervous system, we need to work on releasing those emotions, and then start gentle with the yoga. Okay, so I'm gonna head on over to the mat and show you what this looks like. Okay, so our low lunge, we're gonna step a foot up in between the hands, slide that back knee away from you, or walk this foot further forward, knee over ankle, okay? Keep those hips down, hands either side. Now, little transition for you here, or little tips if this feels too much, right? If the floor seems too far away, this is what yoga blocks are for. Grab some yoga blocks, come up a little bit higher. If you're rounding through the spine, this could be due to really tight hips and hamstrings. Come up higher because you want to lengthen the spine, okay? You want that chest to be nice and open. So imagine rolling the shoulder blades together, okay? If you can't do this, you need to come up a lot higher, okay? That's going to help to get those hips down, okay? So this is your low lunge. From here, we're going to come into lizard. So plant your hands down on the inside of that foot, shuffle that foot to the side. Again, it doesn't matter which foot because you're going to do both sides. Point your toes out a little bit diagonally, so in line with your knee. Sink the hips down. Again, same thing, we're just opening that knee up, opening the hip up a little bit more. So if you need blocks, use some blocks. Keep that chest open, shoulder blades coming together, hips down nice and low. Don't let those hips slide back. Sink them down low, open that chest. Okay, this is your lizard lunge. The next one is coming into pigeon. I always like to come onto my fingertips just to give myself a little bit more space. You're going to shuffle or heel toe that foot underneath you, bring it underneath the opposite hip, and then drop that knee down to the side. Your knee is coming out at a slight angle, okay? Back foot or back knee is going to slide backwards. Get those hips as low to the ground as you can. Walk your hands in. Now, depending on how open your hips are, this front leg or the lower part of your leg, you can shuffle it a bit further forward, okay? Bear in mind, we want to be careful of those knees. If you're feeling anything in your knee right now, I'm going to show you a different pose to do, okay? But this is your pigeon pose. Keep those hips down nice and low, lengthen through the spine. You can even come down onto your forearms. We're just focusing on the hips and the hamstrings here. Okay, if this pose feels too much, we're going to roll down onto our backs. You're going to take your foot over your knee, come into your figure four. So grab behind the thigh, bring it in, and hold it here. You can use your elbow on the same leg to push that knee out and get a little bit of a deeper stretch, right? Because as you're pulling the opposite leg in, that other leg can't get any closer because your elbow's there, so you can push it out. And then you want to repeat that on the other side as well. These three poses are some of the best hip openers that you can do. When I'm working on a particular area that I want to open, I will take 10 full breaths in each pose to really release the body and slow down the nervous system in these poses. So for example, for this one, it'd be 10 breaths in low lunge, 10 breaths in lizard, 10 breaths in pigeon. And don't forget, if you start to feel emotional, don't worry, it is normal. Your body is just finally letting go of that stored tension and emotions that you no longer need. So hopefully you did that along with me and you are feeling the difference already in your hips. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, I've got a class coming up next that you can join right now. So click the video on the screen and I'll see you on the mat.